The best of the week on Relevant Radio.
Let's go to the word of the day. If salt loses its taste, with what can it be seasoned? Oh, that's much more fun in Greek. Let me tell you, that's a hoot in Greek. There's salt, the salt shaker. It says, you are the salt of the earth. If, however, the salt gets stupid, that's what the word is in Greek. Moranthi, if the salt is made stupid, with what will it be salted? It's hard enough to understand it in good old plain English, but what does that mean? Well, the whole thing about salt is we don't think of it this way. We think of it as a seasoning. They thought of it as a preservative. Salt was extremely valuable. In Greek, it's halas. When you see an H in Greek, sometimes it's an S in Latin, so that became sal in Latin, as in salt. And the word salary comes from the word salt. Salt was so valuable in certain times and places. It was more valuable than gold, and you would be paid in salt, hence your salary. The word sal meaning salt in Latin. So they thought of it as a preservative. They had no refrigeration, and if you put meat in salt, it didn't rot. I remember seeing a bucket of what do they call them? The pork rinds with hunks of meat in Puerto Rico. When I was a young man, I went to Puerto Rico, and there I saw on the kitchen table, days in a row, a bucket of essentially pork rinds, and I thought they're going to rot. And the lady of the house laughed, and she started frying some up. They'd been preserved in salt. They were delicious. So this is the idea that salt is a preservative. That's what it was mostly used for in the ancient world. And even the word sausage in Latin language comes from the word salt. You can hang a sausage and salt it, and it doesn't go bad. So it's full of salt. It may be not good for your blood pressure, but boy, is it good. So this is the idea. Salt was a preservative. It was compared to the soul in the body, because the soul, if the soul was in the body, if the breath was in the body, it didn't rot. But when the breath left the body, when the soul left the body, well, the flesh rotted. So salt had a component in it that was like the soul. And what Jesus is saying is, you are the soul of the world. You're the preservative of the world. And if the preservative loses its edge, if it gets stupid, it means to lose the edge, how will it be preserved? So you read, you are the salt of the earth. If the salt loses its edge, how will it be salted? If what that really means, you are the preservative of the world, even when the world doesn't like you. If the preservative loses its edge, with what will it be preserved? And how did the preservative lose its edge? This was valuable stuff, and you might have a salt box in the corner of the house near the cooking area, and dirt floors, and sometimes water would leach up into the salt box, and the very bottom layer of the salt would become polluted. It hadn't been preserved. By contact with the dirt, it had lost its edge, and it was no longer useful. So it had to be thrown out. That's the idea. If we are polluted with the dirt of the world, we have become stupid. We've become pointless. We've lost our edge, and we can't be preserved. You know, how can you preserve the preservative when it gets dirty? Huh? Throw it out. That's what this means. I think it's fascinating. That was obscure, but more useful than the thing about the mercy seat.
That was the best of the week on Relevant Radio. The best way to listen to the best of the week is on the Relevant Radio app. Free and always free. Download and share the #1 free Catholic app today in the App Store.